Insurance. Simple human sense.
It is a very sunny afternoon across mid-Michigan. Satellite and radar show some very quiet conditions across most of the lower peninsula. We're just bouncing between partly cloudy and mostly cloudy conditions across mid-Michigan this afternoon. Temperature-wise, we're in the upper 30s to low 40s, 40 degrees right now in Mason, 41 the current temperature in Jackson and Marshall. The cool spot, 36 degrees right now in St. John's. We'll continue to warm and stay dry as we go throughout the rest of the day. Temperatures climbing into the low 40s for highs. We get even warmer as we go throughout the next few days before the chance for rain returns. 6 News at Noon starts right now.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News at Noon.
There are more questions today surrounding what appears to be a stunning security lapse out of Washington. It's our top story at noon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Megan Vaselli. The editor-in-chief of The Atlantic magazine says he was mistakenly included on a text chain with senior Trump administration officials. He claims National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and Vice President J.D. Vance were discussing secret plans to attack Houthi rebels in Yemen. The chat was on Signal, a secure commercial app, not a classified system. Natalie Brand is here for you with the latest from Washington.
I think this is one more example of the kind of sloppy, careless, incompetent behavior, particularly towards classified information.
As lawmakers grilled top national security officials at an annual hearing on threats facing the U.S., many are questioning why high-level Trump administration officials were reportedly discussing plans to attack Houthi targets in Yemen over the encrypted but not government-approved messaging app Signal.
Obviously not a good thing. Again, it'll be up to the president, seeing how he wants to handle it. I'm sure it's a mistake that's been corrected right now.
Could have had airplanes shot down. I mean, right now we might be talking about possibility of POWs in Yemen.
The Atlantic editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, says he was accidentally invited to the group chat by National Security Advisor Mike Waltz.
I inadvertently discovered a massive security breach in the way the national security establishment conducts its business.
Goldberg says the messages included information about weapons packages, targets, and timing of the March 15th strike shortly before it took place. The White House press secretary said this morning no war plans were discussed and no classified material was sent to the thread.
This was a breach.
H.R. McMaster served as national security advisor under the first Trump administration.
What happened here is they traded off security for convenience. You just can't do that.
The White House press secretary also says the president continues to have confidence in his national security team, including National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, the White House.
Locally, politicians gathered today to voice their opposition to legislation they say would create barriers to voting. The proposed constitutional amendment would require voters to demonstrate proof of citizenship when registering to vote and would require voters to present a government photo ID when casting a ballot. Opposers say voters who change their last name after marriage or divorce and don't have appropriate identification reflecting their name on the voter rolls might not be able to cast a ballot.
What we heard today specifically is testimony based on a complaint and a lawsuit that was filed and dismissed. Now, it seems to me a little interesting that if you have a lawsuit dismissed, especially when the Secretary of State in their dismissal refutes your claims with cited evidence, all you have to do is go before the House Elections Committee and not have a chance for meaningful cross-examination.
This would require a 2/3 majority in the state legislature or a successful ballot initiative in order to go into effect. We continue to follow the story of Paul and Christy Akeo from Spring Arbor. The couple remains in a Mexican prison after being arrested on March 4th at an airport in Cancun. Christy's daughter, Lindsay Hull, says they've been held without bond for 21 days and claims it all started when they disputed credit card charges from Mexican resort The Palace Company. The family says it reached out to the U.S. Embassy in Mexico and other federal and state agencies and also hired both Mexican and American attorneys to help. Hull tells 6 News the resort wants $250,000 and the signing of a non-disclosure agreement that doesn't guarantee the Akeo's release. Meanwhile, Mexican newspaper The Riviera Maya News claims the couple was wanted by Interpol Mexico and arrested for accusations of defrauding a hotel of more than $100,000. However, Hull says the news article was written from false information. Stay with 6 News as we continue to follow any new developments. The Lansing Board of Water and Light has crews working right now to restore power for about 2,200 people. The outage is east of 127 to Abbott Road and west to Bancroft Park. No word yet on what caused it or when it could come back on.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We are entering into a really quiet weather pattern across mid-Michigan as we go throughout the next few days. And not only will we be featuring dry conditions in the forecast, but also a lot of sunshine as well. We have a fair amount of sunshine across the area this afternoon. Partly cloudy conditions currently in place over here in Lansing. Temperature-wise, we're still on the cooler side of things, currently in the upper 30s. And we're still going to hold on to some breezy conditions, very similar to what we saw yesterday. In Lansing, current winds at 13 miles per hour out of the west-northwest. That drops our wind chill temperatures down into the low 30s. A similar situation in Grand Ledge, 38 for our current temperature. That peak wind up to 31 miles per hour thus far. We do start to decrease the cloud cover the further south that we go. We're still partly cloudy at this time in Jackson. We're at 41 degrees, winds at 10 miles per hour, gusting as high as 21 earlier this morning. And mostly sunny skies over in downtown Hillsdale. Temperatures in the upper 30s. No sustained winds at this time, but they have gusted as high as 17 miles per hour. Very similar to yesterday, winds will begin to peak as we go throughout the next few hours, hovering anywhere between 20 to 30 miles per hour in terms of our wind gusts, calming down as we go throughout the second half of the day and then into the overnight hours tonight. In combination with those gusty conditions, there really isn't a whole lot of active weather that we get to talk about. Satellite and radar shows dry conditions across most of the lower peninsula. We have partly cloudy to mostly cloudy conditions in place here in mid-Michigan. We're going to hold on to those same conditions as we go throughout the rest of the day. In fact, there's a lot of dry weather in our forecast. Precipitation chances remaining incredibly minimal today, tomorrow, and even as we move throughout our Thursday as well. Our next system isn't set to arrive into the area until we get into the second half of the day on Friday. And we're going to hold on to the chance for widespread rain showers even as we move throughout the entire weekend. However, it doesn't look like it's going to be a complete washout at least. If we time this out for you on Precision Cast late Friday afternoon, that's when light to moderate rain showers will return to the area. We do get some dry time Friday night into early Saturday morning before more widespread rain returns, and we hold on to the chance for precipitation on Sunday, maybe a couple of rumbles of thunder added into the forecast as well. High temperatures for today topping out in the low 40s, still just slightly below average for this time of year, and overnight tonight we calm those winds down. We stay dry with temperatures falling to 25. Our 6-day forecast does show a really nice and gradual warming trend as we go throughout the next few days. We have mostly sunny conditions in the forecast for Wednesday, highs of 44 degrees. We're jumping up into the mid-50s on Thursday. Cloud cover will be on the increase ahead of that system on Friday. Even though it is going to be raining, it comes along with those high temperatures near 60 degrees. And this is not going to be a complete washout of a weekend. We will get some dry time Saturday morning, and it does look like more dry time possible Sunday evening.
Great. So it's just a lot.
It's springtime, you know, there's no consistency at all in our forecast here.
None. So we appreciate you keeping track of it for us.
No problem.
Thank you, Kendall. All right, well, coming up at noon, we're taking a look at a new report regarding the state of the nation's infrastructure and the problems it found. So keep it right here, 6 News at noon. We'll be right back.